Thanks to the support as a channel member, PPO476. Oh, folks, we have had an absolutely incredible start to life in League Two. And I don't think Owen Farmer likes the fact we've been able to do it without him, because in response, he's decided to lead a player revolt that could completely derail the season. Hello, welcome to part 33 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have a big top-of-the-table clash against Notts County, and we're also away against Crawley in League Two. And since you were last with me, as you can see, we have had a 100% winning start to life in the Football League. Yes, we got knocked out of the EFL Cup, but who cares? Because in League Two, yes, League Two, Brackley, League Two, never get tired of saying that, we have 7 wins from 7 games, 21 points on the board. Bradley has 7 goals in 7 games as well. He has taken to League Two like a duck to water. He has been absolutely fantastic. He's the top scorer in the league. He's the best player in the league. He's got the most man of the matches in the league. And because of that, his strike partner from last year, the injured Owen Farmer, has decided to lead a player revolt. And it's an FM24 classic. There's insufficient depth in the goalkeeping department. 9 players agree with him. I mean, the depth in our goalkeeping department is fine. Hollingshead, obviously good enough. We've brought in 2 loanees as backups to try and solve the problem. Promised both of them they'll be the first choice keeper. That hasn't calmed him down. Rob Harley's still here. We don't have the money to go out and get another goalkeeper, so we've just got to hope it doesn't cause an enormous problem. Farmer himself is still out injured, which I think probably stands in our favour, because although he's leading the revolt, he's not really an active member of the team at the moment, not going to be back for another 7 weeks or so. I did promise I would fix it and failed my promise, which has, if anything, led to things getting even worse. But the way we're playing without him, if he carries on being a Wally, we'll just bin him off, because Eonvian's the man. 10 goals already this season. I mean, who needs Owen Farmer? It doesn't look like we do. Eonvian, just like when he first arrived, and he was playing without Farmer and got a goal a game, spent a season as Farmer's partner, and yeah, that's a good season by any judge. Any striker in the world is going to be happy with that as a season. But then he's back to not having to allow for Farmer again. He's the main man again, and once again he's scoring a goal a game. He plays better without Owen Farmer. Farmer's making problems for himself, but let's not worry about that for now. Let's worry about Notts County. They're 3rd in the league. They want to deal with us as the little upstarts who've entered their world and have tried to take over. So let's thrash them and carry on our winning run. It's Hollingshead in goal, a back 4 of Thomas, Donnelly, Farrance and Deed. Rodney and East in midfield, Agbenone on the left, Alpha Ruprecht on the right, and then Eonvian with Marsh alongside him. Marsh is the argument for why Farmer will just come straight back into the team when he's fit again, because although Eonvian's been absolutely brilliant, he's basically doing it without a strike partner. We don't really have anyone who can play in the hole behind him either. We can't really go back to our 4-2-3-1. So, I mean, Marsh is stretching defences and creating space for him. So I guess there's that. But Eonvian definitely is the goal scorer. Agbenone on the left-hand side, floats it over, looking for Alpha Ruprecht, can't find him, but Rodney nods it down to East, and now Farrance plays it back to Agbenone, who cuts it back to Donnelly. That's both of our centre-backs hanging around on the edge of the area still from the original long throw. Donnelly, one of those centre-backs, flying down the left wing, crosses it in, looking for Eonvian, can't find him. There was big Bradley, and this time can't keep his header directed towards the goal, and unfortunately it goes wide. But Marsh now floating in a free kick. It almost fell for Agbenone, but ends up getting cleared. But the fact that it's a highlight suggests something else is going to come of this, and it's Deed trying to get past his man. He's tackled. Question marks potential about whether that's a penalty, but forget that. We don't need it. Maybe we did. Eonvian once again getting on the end of a cross from Deed on that right-hand side, and once again not able to keep his header on target. He's had a couple of decent chances early on, very similar crosses from that right-hand side, and he's yet to hit the target with any of them. He's just getting his sights sorted. There's Alpha Ruprecht, and there is 1-0. He doesn't need time to get his sights sorted, and he's just going to poke it home. I think we were probably aiming at Big Brackley again. It's Agbenone with the throw initially. Farrance plays it back to him, and then Agbenone just drives it across goal. It must go through 8 players across both teams and somehow ends up on the end of Alpha Ruprecht's toe, and he just steers it past the goalkeeper. It's such an easy finish for him. He was completely unmarked, but why all those players from both teams just let the ball go past them, I have no idea. But we capitalise on it and are very happy about that situation. There is Ionvian, and he's a little bit far away from goal to be able to conjure anything up from there, so lays it off to Alpha Ruprecht, who tries to go past his man but can't on this occasion. That's a rare example of Alpha Ruprecht being tackled, and I don't know that I care for it. And now Notts County trying to get an attack of their own going. I mean, that looked offside to me, and it has been disallowed for offside. They were miles off. Bunch of cheats. Book him for being that far offside. That is basically cheating. But it remains 1-0. Just a little bit of a warning shot from Man City? From Notts County. I don't think we're playing Man City just yet. A warning shot from Notts County, just letting us know that they're decent finishers. They're third in the league. They are not to be sniffed at. Let's not give them opportunities to do stuff like that again. And we are trying to scramble the ball clear, and it falls to Alpha Ruprecht, who's got space to run into, just the one man to beat. But rather than beat him, he decides to have a shot from range on his weak foot, which seems like a strange decision. I mean, he did have that moment earlier on in the game where he tried to go past a man and couldn't. I hope his confidence isn't taking a hit. But, I mean, it could be a side effect of the whole player mutiny thing. But he plays it across to Ionvian, an 11th goal of the season for Bradley Ionvian. He continues his goal-a-game start to the season. He is unstoppable. We are unstoppable. It's Brackley 2, Notts County 0. And, I mean, this is just such a perfect example of our typical route to goal. Get it in front of... I don't know where Marsh is. Marsh is supposed to be playing as the advanced forward. He's not even in the penalty area when that goal is scored. I don't think he's read the instructions on the player role that he's been given, but it is giving Ionvian the absolute freedom to play effectively as a lone striker, while Marsh, on his little 6.6, is effectively not even there. It's baffling, but, I mean, it's working, so I guess I'm not going to get too upset about it. I can only assume Marsh is dragging players out of position because he's so far out of position that it's creating space for Bradley around him, maybe. I don't know. We have conceded a goal here. Notts County getting in minus. We're a little flat there, and Hollingshead not able to make the save, and it's now 2-1 with a lot of this game still to go. So we do need another one. We need to put the game beyond doubt. We're not really ones for defending, so we don't want to have to spend half an hour plus defending a 1-goal lead against one of the best teams in the division. The solution here is to continue attacking and hopefully grab ourselves a third and just make it impossible for Notts County to score as many goals as we're going to. I'm not quite sure what Hollingshead was doing there. We've been given a free kick, so I suspect there were shenanigans involved from the Notts County lot. Which is why it all looked so disastrous. But again, another little warning that this lot are dangerous going forward. This isn't your typical bunch of League Two jokers. This is a team that's probably going to get promoted at the end of the season. And if we want to keep our 100% start to the season going, we're going to have to up our game just a smidgen. They've now hit the post. And I mean, they're going to be feeling pretty hard done by at the moment that they are behind in this game. We need a third. And who is going to score it for me? If any of you would like to volunteer, go for it. We're going to bring Wakeling on to play with Ionvian to see if he can offer, the ability to play as a centre forward, which we don't seem to get out of Marsh. I love the fact that we can make 3 substitutions at this level as well. It's delicious. 5 substitutions, sorry. So we can do 3 there and then another 2. I love a big bench and I love keeping my boys nice and fresh. So we just freshen things up a little bit there, get a different striker on and see if we can maybe go chasing the final goal. Ionvian is shattered, so we're going to do this. He comes off. Bennett's going to go on up front. Bennett, who we brought in primarily to play as a winger, but can play as a striker as well. He's not the most clinical finisher in the world, but he is decently quick, which is certainly not to be sniffed at. Make another change in midfield as well to keep things nice and fresh there. And since we started messing around with substitutions, highlights seem to have stopped for both teams. So hopefully we are just killing the match off by having a team that's got more energy than their team. I mean, they've changed their entire front three. Those strikers who looked so dangerous are all off the pitch now. But we are having to defend a corner. And Agbinon, who's now the captain, I've just noticed he's got his little captain's armband on. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. And we managed to scramble the ball clear. And I think we are just about going to cling on to a 2-1 victory. The 100% winning start to the season continues. We're going back to back to back, boys and girls. Nothing can stop us now, apart from Owen Farmer and his little player mutiny that he's got going on. Well, the Crawley game was postponed because of a waterlogged pitch in the end. I mean, that's probably like the 5th or 6th waterlogged pitch at our home ground postponement we've had during my time at the club. So I guess I am quite glad that we're building a new stadium in the hope that maybe we build it above sea level this time. That might be an idea. I hope that's what we're planning on doing. It's an unchanged team for this game against Forest Green. Now, Forest Green, of course, one of the teams who had the opportunity to steal me away from Brackley and chose not to. They went another way, and I like to use these as an opportunity to show these teams what they could have won. And as a result, would obviously like to give them a firm beating. But we're going to have to do it with a slightly injured Ionvian who wouldn't have actually been fit for the Crawley game. So it was ideal that it ended up being postponed. He's had a little bit of a knock between the two matches. He is fit to play today, but hasn't trained very much in the 2 weeks between the previous match and this one. So might not be quite as sharp as he was over those first 9 games of the season when he was scoring for fun. I mean, fingers crossed he continues getting his goal that he gets every game today. The fact that we're still clear at the top of the table with a game in hand and not even taking the lead yet in this one shows just how good we've been at the start of the season. And of course, with it being League Two, there are 3 automatic promotion spots plus the playoffs. So to have a lead of any kind, even this early in the season, you got to be thinking you're looking quite good for promotion of some flavour come the end of the year. And as I'm saying it, of course, we concede a goal. And there's not been many occasions this year when we've been behind in a football match. So we need to show a little bit of character here. Hollingshead is not a short man, I don't think. 6'2". He is an average height man. He is a correct height man. He shouldn't be letting the ball just float over the top of his head like that. I'm not gonna immediately make him the scapegoat for our first defeat of the season if that's where this ends up going, but I'm 6'2". I'd have saved it. So maybe he needs to just have a little ponder about that. We've gone attacking for the second half. We've not had a shot on target yet, as I worried. The fact that Ionvian hasn't been fully fit might not be ideal, but the cross comes in looking for Ionvian, and the fact that everything kind of stopped made me think we might be winning a penalty there, but we didn't. Ionvian plays it across, or looking for Donnelly, doesn't find him, and Thomas has to clean up and cut out a Forest Green counter-attack. There's the ball over the top for Alpha Ruprecht. He slides it across goal. It's ended up in the back of the net. I don't know who got the touch on it. It's gone down as an own goal from the Forest Green goalkeeper. Bradley was right on top of him. Let's have a look at it on the replay. I think Ionvian's going to try and claim this as his goal for today because he was definitely involved in the process. So Alpha Ruprecht, so dangerous in these situations, just plays it across. Yeah, Ionvian never touched it. It was the Forest Green defender into the Forest Green goalkeeper and then into the back of the net. I mean, the chaos was caused by the fact that the giant top scorer in the league was just behind them, so they had to do something. They couldn't let the ball go through to him for a tap in from half a yard. But what they actually did was an absolute calamity. Right, Agbinon not having the best of games today. We're going to bring on Bennett. We're also going to bring on Wakeling. And we're going to stick Alpha Ruprecht onto the left. Bennett's going to play on the right. Wakeling goes up front. So it's a combination we've never used before, but we're going to give it a little try. We're also going to bring on Akpan, who we've just had an email about, telling me how he's improved a lot as a footballer over the last 3 months. So he's moved up my pecking order as first midfield reserve and might be displacing East before too long. So he starts to come on as my first central midfield change. And that's a lovely ball over the top from him, playing it in for Alpha Ruprecht, who once again getting behind his fullback, tries to square it, but on his weaker foot not quite as effective. I'd very much like a win here just to make it 10 from 10 at the start of the season, or are we on 9? I forget how many games we've played. Either way, I just want to keep winning. Let's just keep winning all year long. That would be fun. We'd like to win every single football match this year if that could be arranged. But Forest Green trying to ruin my fun and playing the ball around us relatively comfortably here. Cross comes in. It's dealt with. Alpha Ruprecht trying to counter. Eonvian plays it over the top to Wakeling. Wakeling one-on-one with the keeper. A suspicion maybe of offside. And it has been disallowed for offside. I mean, he looked miles off. I say a suspicion. He was a long way offside. And with 10, 15 minutes to go, we've got 2 more changes we can make, but nothing particularly attacking. We've got Senga Ngoyi down there, who I guess can come on for Rodney, but it's very much just a like-for-like change. There's nothing particularly exciting about it. And let's bring DeBeo on for Farrance. Farrance is a guy I keep in the team because he's 6'5", but DeBeo was the guy who was supposed to be our starter along with Donnelly this season. So let's give him the opportunity to try and establish a spot in the team. He came in injured and hasn't really been able to force his way in ever since, but it is Forest Green on the attack again. 10 minutes to go in the game. Donnelly hacks it clear, but only as far as another green shirt, and Akpan gets the tackling. Good work from him. And now Eonvian dropping deep, lays it off to Deed. This is a weird highlight, which hopefully is going to end in a goal. Bennett picks the ball up quite deep, but decides to take on his fullback and does well. Cross comes in looking for Eonvian, and there is his goal for today. It's his 12th of the season. He's still scoring at a goal a game in the league. He's just won the League 2 Player of the Month. I've just won League 2 Manager of the Month. And Brackley Eonvian is an absolute cheat code. What an absolute superstar. Forest Green 1, Brackley 2. Less than 10 minutes to go. Let's just have no more highlights now, please, chaps. We've had 1 shot on target in the match and scored 2 goals. That's the kind of thing where you start getting the cliches on Match of the Day about, oh, you're winning when you're not playing well. We've not played well today, but it looks like we are going to come away with 3 points. Our name is on this trophy already, boys and girls. Akpan lays it off to Thomas, and now Alpha Ruprecht on the left-hand side. It just seems weird, but he's running and plays it straight into a Forest Green player. Eonvian gives it to Bennett. Wakeling's in space. If we can find him, we can, but his shot is straight at the goalkeeper, and it comes across to Akpan, who shoots, and the keeper pushes it around the post. It's a corner. We're into the 95th of 97 minutes, but at least we are attacking. It's going to be Wakeling to take the corner. I think he's going to be hitting an in-swinger, looking for any of the big boys that we've got crowding that 6-yard box. And as you can imagine, he is taking his time over it as well. Cross does come in. He was looking for Eonvian, and it falls to Bennett. What a goal from Tyler Bennett. What a way to score your first goal for the club. That was sensational. He has hit that first time from the edge of the area on the half volley, just straight into that top corner. It couldn't have hit that any better. There's no player in the world who does better from that position than what Tyler Bennett has just done. Absolutely brilliant. That is a maintained 100% start to the season. I mean, I know it's Tycoon assisted, give it an asterisk, but it's blooming beautiful, and I'm having a lovely time. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.